my first trip to Africa for a couple of weeks was because of the Adventure to the Homeland sweepstakes, which was
right.
a McDonald's campaign that came about because of the work that you and your agency insisted on doing with clients to help them have integrity in terms of how they dealt with the Black community.
Right.
So I really appreciate you.
Oh,
and
thank
the
you.
fact that you're in this new phase of life.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention one other thing. Going back to the misogynistic, comment that you made in the music and so forth, and how it's degrading our women, and give you credit for walking the talk again. I don't know how many people know your legacy of literally transitioning your agency to 2 co-CEOs who are Black women.
Right.
Who've been running it, carrying the whole thing. The comment that I wanted to make about it was that I hope that what you just mentioned earlier about ludicrous, and you give somebody an award and sometimes they, that's all they need. I'm aware, because my fiance is a board member, and I see he just walked in. He didn't know I was going to do this, but I'm aware that the Black United Fund of Illinois really hopes that you will accept one of their Living Legend awards, later this year, in terms of noting how you're passing the torch with integrity.
Yes.
But not letting go either. You're still doing the work. So.
Thank you.
Now my question is, when are you playing jazz saxophone again somewhere that we can know about?
I never played jazz saxophone. I was singing, but I don't. But I'm not doing that right now because I'm doing this.
Well, in that creative call for work that will help uplift us and liberate and so forth, because you also have that creative side as well as the business side. I'm hoping that we get to experience some of that as well. I thought you were a jazz saxophonist.
No.
You were a singer.
No, singer.
Okay.
But that's actually more relevant, because one of the things I hope to do after I get this thing going is put together a CD, not just of me performing, but certainly I love to write lyrics. And I've written a couple of things on the CD that I already have. But I really want to do a CD that covers the chapters in the book, with messages that cover the chapters. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that. So thanks, Vicki.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Okay.
We have 2 or 3 more questions. Okay.
I'll let you pick them. Why don't you come up and pick them?
Okay. I just want to get your advertising perspective on something that drives me crazy.
Okay.
And that is these young people sagging their pants. What's going on in their minds that would, allow that to perpetuate itself for so long?
I think the sagging pants is a kind of a visual equivalent of the of spewing nigger. I think it's a way of trying to make a debasement cool. How do you take, if you say that I'm ugly, if you say that, I'm just going to be uglier and make that, that's what I wanted to be in the first place. I'm just going to, you can't wear your cap just like straight. It's got to be kind of like, it's got to be, And so I think that is a kind of a means of trying to be cool, being defiant by taking what is the whole pants thing comes from the prison thing, and not having belts, not being able to have belts and just wearing, I'm going to just let them drop. We were walking down the street and we had no idea. He must have had pins down here, because the pants were down about mid-thigh, and there was nothing to hold them up. And there was a shirt that was pulled down, and it's just like, how low can you go? That's basically what it's really about. But it's part of that whole misguided kind of thing. The shoestrings, loose. These are very important symbolic kinds of things.
Ms. Ott and then Layla.
I know they discussed education, but my concern is how do we challenge the practices and policies that the city of Chicago is putting forth in the schools, where they control our curriculum, they control our teaching styles. They say that the children are not learning, incapable of learning. The teachers can't teach, but we're tested all year long, and then when you try to introduce new material, they don't want that taught. They control the curriculum. The media does not put out the information that people are trying to challenge. So what can we do to try to get this change? Our leaders don't seem to know what's going on. They're not speaking out. They say our kids are failing, but they're not analyzing the support that I don't have as a teacher, as opposed to another school where they have all kinds of support. My kids are very, very interested in learning. And the kids that I do have trouble with, I believe someone can reach them, but they don't give them the support or help. I have students in my class right now that are reading The Miseducation of the Negro. They're fourth graders and willing to learn. No one is taking that information and putting it out. They're willing to learn, they're capable of learning. I'm capable of teaching. I can make mistakes, we all do.
What school is that?
Duke Ellington Elementary School, here on the west side of Chicago.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. My daughter, if they can read The Miseducation of the Negro, they can read Brainwashed.
All right. And I'll certainly introduce them to that.
Yeah.
My coworker gave me the list that you put out that Miseducation of the Negro was the first, #1 adult book that was selling, you know, for a certain time period. Okay, yeah.
Well, it certainly inspired me.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I certainly would purchase enough for those students. Thank you.
Our last comment, question is, speaking of the press, we have someone here from the Brownsville metropolis, Ms. Layla.
Thank you. I started a newspaper in Bronzeville.
Oh, great, terrific.
I wanted to ask you about the Tavis, which I call the Tavis Talk Fest.
Yes.
There's got to be, a lot of us worked really hard, like outside of your my business, to get Barack elected. I mean, the whole canvassing, knocking on doors. So we celebrate his being the president also. There's got to be a way when all of us get together for those kind of things, where we can address our issues without knocking him down too, because there's only so much he can do in that office. And I didn't think they gave you enough time when you answered the question from the audience about how we've been trained into being helpless. I wrote about that and everything once I covered the event. So what are your thoughts on that? And Michael Eric Dyson, he doesn't want to blame rap music for anything. And I mean, I could just go on about each one of them individually.
Yeah.
So did you think anything productive happened? Is anything on the way from that? I saw you and Minister, they kept the camera on you because I refused to go, but they kept the camera on you and Minister Farrakhan talking, so I was like, oh, that'll be good.
Yeah. Well, I hope one good thing that came out of it was that people became more aware of me and the book.
Yes.
You know, which is essentially, you know, why I was there. I guess why Tavis basically had me there. Certainly I wasn't there because I wasn't there to call out the president for having or not having a black agenda, you know, and I really feel that in line with this whole idea of disunity, I think that we have, I understand media and understand the need to share information, but I think we don't have enough private conversations. We don't talk to each other privately enough. We go directly public too often, and we need to do something about that. We also need to try to get to the root cause